Hey Grandpa, what was your favorite modern deck?
Well, back in my day, Jimmy, I used to play Jund, which was sleeved in KMC Hypermats, as was the style at the time. And I had 4 copies of Bloodbraid Elf, which were so good, they had to be banned.
That's silly, Grandpa.
It's true!
But Grandpa, with Bloodbraid Elf, how could your companion Lurrus?
Boy, what in tarnation is a companion?
Alright, my friends, welcome to another video here on CoolStuffInc.com. Not your grandfather's Jund deck. That's right. We might see some Tarmogoyfs here, might see some Thoughtseizes here, but that's where the resemblance ends. We are playing Zoomer Jund today. This is an Aspiring Spike deck. I've played a few cards here and there, mostly Aspiring Spikes deck. And we got some new cards here. Of course, Jund, one of the most classic archetypes in modern history. Tarmogoyf, Thoughtseize, Dark Confidant, Liliana, Bloodbraid Elf. We've seen Bloodbraid Elf banned and been unbanned. Of course, Deathrite Shaman has been banned for quite a while now. But Jund, at many, many points in Magic's history, has been the best deck or one of the best decks in Modern. Not so much as of late, but Modern Horizons 2 is here to the rescue. Of course, Lurrus, being the premier card just in general in Modern, wants to see more 1 and 2 drops, and Modern Horizons 2 delivers on 2 incredible 1 drops. We're seeing them everywhere, obviously. Ragavan, Nimble, Pilferer, which is funny because it looks more like an aggro card or a synergy card, just a Jund card, just a fair card, basically. Super high on rate, very similar to Deathrite Shaman. And then Dragon Rage Channeler, which is also an insanely good card, giving you everything Delver of Secrets ever wanted to be, with filling your graveyard, card selection, and just a really, really powerful card. Of course, plays also amazingly well with Mishra's Bauble, which is in the deck for Lurrus of a Dream Den anyway. And removal spells here also add Unholy Heat, which is pretty close to a 1/1 mana Terminate in this deck, which is awesome. We have Terminate proper as well, because you got to kill those Murktide Regents, Lightning Bolt, Kolaghan's Command, a couple Wrenn and Six, and then 2 Kroxa to finish things off. Kroxa, of course, plays phenomenally with Dragon Rage Channeler. Can dump that one in the bin. And of course, all of this, once again, being headed up by Lurrus. Just one of the best Magic cards literally ever printed. Just an unbelievable card. And you see it so much in Modern because it's just that good. And it makes a ton of sense here in this grindy deck. Sideboard's got a lot of good tools in it. Of course, Ancient Grudge is going to be our anti-artifact card of choice. We get some explosives here. Can clean up those boards. Extra Thoughtseize for combo decks. Soul Guide Lantern for graveyard decks. Interesting Soul Guide Lantern over Nile Spellbomb. Honestly, not exactly sure why Aspiring Spike chose Soul Guide Lantern over Nile Spellbomb. But of course, good with Lurrus. Good with your own Tarmogoyfs. Makes sense. Alpine Moon here. You got to beat Tron. Yeah, Tron's making a bit of a resurgence lately. Tron's been freaking awesome, actually. So Alpine Moon to answer that. And of course, Chalice to answer the Cascade decks. We can put it on 1 against a deck like Death Shadow or Burn. We really don't want to, though. We have tons of our own 1 drops. So mostly here to be put on 0 as an answer to the Cascade decks, Living End, Rhinos, and so forth. That's the deck. I'm stoked to battle. At first, we word from our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com.
Cool Stuff Inc. is proud to sponsor Jim Davis. We offer great deals on card games, tabletop RPGs, board games, and more. Get a free token featuring Jim Davis and take 5% off your next order if you use the code JIM5 at checkout. CoolStuffInc.com. Cool stuff in stock.
All right, round number 1 on the play. Ragavan, please. It's funny, as a Goblin player, Ragavan is very similar to Goblin Lackey. It has this effect on the game where, you play it on turn 1, opponent doesn't have an answer, and it just runs away with the game. But there's no deck building restriction because, of course, Goblin Lackey requires you to play Goblins. So, kind of awkward hand here, though. So we have a Charm Ragavan, which is great. We have Channeler, which is great. We have Tarmogoyf. We have no red mana. And this hand still might be a keep, just based on the back of Bauble. And we can try and find ourselves another land to play Tarmogoyf. It does make our hand a lot worse, though, as our 1-drops won't be as good. Our opponent is also playing a Lurrus deck, so because of that, makes me a little more inclined to not want to mulligan if they're playing Thoughtseizes and Friends. And if they're playing if they're playing Burn or something like that, we have turn 2 Tarmogoyf, which is pretty good too. So I'm going to keep this. Obviously, you can just dash Ragavan later. Channeler is good later too. So, and we're going to start. We're going to, first things first, play a Bauble and target ourself. So if we can see a red source on top, we'll actually hold our second Bauble to try and use the Dragon Rage Channeler. So first things first, Bauble, target ourselves. Our top card is a Dragon Rage Channeler. All right, so that's not going to work. So we'll play Bauble number 2, and then we're going to target them and see what they draw. Just get a good idea what they're playing. Talking about it that much, but I've actually, that was a mistake. I should have done another upkeep. Polluted Delta, sure. So I should have done that on their upkeep. I guess I know I'm drawing Channeler, so getting Thoughtseize doesn't matter anyway. I guess the next card would matter. So yeah, that was a mistake. I should have done that on their upkeep, because now I'm going to draw both cards on their turn. If they have a Thoughtseize, they get access to 1 extra card. So we draw Thoughtseize, sure. So ideally we draw a red source here. We get to go Channeler plus Thoughtseize, or Ragavan plus Thoughtseize. Watery Grave. 1 blue for Serum Visions. Interesting. Still no red, but we have Thoughtseize. We'll see what we draw. We draw a red source. Our play is easy. It's probably going to be Channeler into Thoughtseize. We can get our Surveil going too. We can just dash Ragavan later. If we don't draw a red source, we have to decide between Tarmogoyf or Thoughtseize. Their Scry goes top, which makes me less inclined to want to cast Thoughtseize because they have good cards on top of their deck. Obviously, we can't Thoughtseize those. But, Inquisition. All right, so now we're going to pop off. I'll just fire it up. Ooh, they're a combo deck. Interesting. Lotus Field. They're a combo deck playing Lurrus. I mean, at this point, there isn't really a deck that isn't playing Lurrus. It's gotten to the point where, it's like it was when Lurrus was first released, where if you're just not playing Lurrus in your deck, you're probably making a mistake. So some sort of Lotus Field like Twiddle combo probably. So we'll take Serum Visions. I think we're actually going to wait and not take this, and not cast this Thoughtseize, because all they have is a cantrip in their hand and a bunch of lands. So we're just going to say go. And ideally we'll draw a red source next turn, but Lurrus in everything. They play Delta. Again, they've drawn the card they topped. A little strange here if I didn't cast Sleight of Hand. Again, we really want to draw a red source here. I guess even any land just to play Tarmogoyf and Thoughtseize would be would be better than nothing, but all right, they're going to Sleight of Hand. Their hand is Island, Lotus Field, Misty Rainforest, Watery Grave, Polluted Delta, and the card they just got off of Sleight of Hand. So now we can Thoughtseize them safely because they have no hidden cards right now. No cards tucked on top of their deck. Please draw a red source. We did it. So now we're gonna Channeler here. Just gonna Channeler Thoughtseize. We could Goyf Thoughtseize. I'm okay. No sneeze. I'm okay. We could also just play Ragavan and just kind of get our mana going too. That would we're reasonably close to Delirium. Much more mana efficient to play Tarmogoyf and Thoughtseize, but Ragavan obviously gets things done quicker. Either way, we're going to get ourselves a Stomping Ground here. 2 black, 2 green, and a red. And yeah, we're going to Ragavan. So we'll Thoughtseize first. See what's going on here. All right, and they have a Dream's Grip and a Tome Scour. Dream's Grip is a Twiddle. So if those that are unsure what's happening here, this is a combo deck based around Lotus Field, which of course taps for 3 mana of any color, and Twiddles. Twiddle's a card, 1 blue, tap or untap something. And you keep using Twiddle to untap your Lotus Field over and over again. So basically it turns every Twiddle effect into a Dark Ritual. So spend 1 blue, untap Lotus Field, tap for 3 blue, spend 1 blue, untap Lotus Field. It is a critical mass deck. It's a deck that needs like a Storm deck, needs a lot of cards to go off. And then Tome Scour here, probably part of a package for Underworld Breach. I think it's called Underworld Breach, where you can play cards from your graveyard by by escaping. So we'll take the Dream Script here. And they kind of once again have nothing, which is pretty good. That's funny because Ragavan's not really going to find any good cards for us. But we could dash here, but I think it's much better just to play it and have it in play. I don't want to spend 2 mana every turn for this Ragavan. Next turn I can attack, play my entire hand worth of threats, and then present lethal on a turn or 2. And again, they're very, very far from having anything good going here. They have a Lotus Field, but don't have the twiddle effects or basically anything right now. Because Tome Scour is only really good as a piece for Underworld Breach, I would assume. Play Watergrave tapped, sure. So you go. Let's get our monkey in here. It's also funny because like they probably only have 1 or 2 win conditions, and if the monkey happens to hit the win condition, it's really, really good for us. So here comes monkey. Gonna start monkeying around. What is this? Perilous Voyage. Turn non-land permanent you don't control to owner's hand, and then scry 2. That's pretty annoying, I guess, but sure. So you get to scry 2. It's obviously card disadvantage, which is the bounce spell, you know. Then you go 1 bottom, 1 top. Not ideal. Recast Ragavan. Play Tarmogoyf. And Sego. They did top a card, you know, but it's still a ways to go here. Lotus Field also comes in tapped anyway, so. One blue in the pool. Nope, never mind. Here comes Lotus Field. And they're not going to float mana first. Okay. So probably saying go here. So they have their piece in play now. Their hand is land, Tome Scour card. We draw Kolaghan's command. All right, coming in. Ragavan hits. It hits a Wishclaw Talisman. Probably not playing this one because obviously we never want to give it to them. Trying to play our channelers here. I guess we can play it just to surveil, which is kind of reasonable. Yeah, I guess we'll play it to surveil, sure. Let's play Talisman. Surveil. Thoughtseize. I really want to get Delirium because it increases our clock to lethal next turn. And then we only have 4, 5, 6, 7. We only have 8 next turn. I guess we have lethal with the Kolaghan's command. But I'm going to bin this. So bin that. Inquisition, bin that. And we are just, we can also just search for a bolt too. So there's currently no instance. So yeah, we can just like Wishclaw Talisman for bolt and just kill them that way too. So they got to win next turn. It's as simple as that. Just hit the old F6 button and do your worst. If they were to draw, I believe they play Ideas Unbound, which is a blue, draw 3, discard 3 at the end of turn. If they were to draw a card like that, they could maybe get things going here. But yeah, they're a critical mass combo deck, and we kept them off critical mass, basically. So let's look into our sideboard here. We got some good options. Alpine Moon, of course, is excellent. Just turns off Lotus Field, which is great. Although it is a little annoying because if I name Alpine Moon, they can just play it on turn 1. And they can remove the Alpine Moon and have it in play like for cheap, but we'll just be aware of that. And Chalice of the Void on 1 is obviously really good against us too. I don't think we want that. And then Soulguide Lantern plays also because they have Underworld Breach most likely. So we'll cut our removal spells here, which are all really bad. Keep the bolts and a Kolaghan's command, which is fine. This all looks pretty good to me. We still have 3 bolts and a Kolaghan's command to kill their Lurrus, although realistically, not sure what they're playing with Lurrus, honestly, you know. So do this. Now I've got a whole bunch of stuff. I think the matchup already seems pretty good with our discard spells, and now we just have so much more also. So looks pretty good here for our first match. And a much better hand. We got castable spells. We got Alpine Moon. We're going to keep this. We got turn 1 Monkey. Couldn't ask for more. Couldn't ask for more. They've also uncompanioned their Lurrus. So we can think for a second about what cards they would have in their deck that make them not want to companion Lurrus. I would say that Leyline of Sanctity pretty likely. Not that we can do much about it, but definitely a card to think about. So we're going to Ragavan here. We're going to get a red-black land probably. So our life total is not really too much in question. Get Blood Crypt, Shock, Ragavan. Next turn we have Channeler plus Thoughtseize, or Channeler plus Alpine Moon, or if we're feeling super frisky, we can play the 2 hate pieces, but we also have the treasure of this too, so explosives on 1. And no second land. So they kept the sketchy sleight of hand 1-lander. All right, sure. All right, so now we're obviously not going to play our Ragavan, or our Lantern, or our Alpine Moon. I'm sorry, our Channeler. So you can probably just play attack, treasure, Tarmogoyf, Thoughtseize. Let's attack first and see what turns up. Ragavan says a sleight of hand. It's pretty cool actually, because they have these critical massive cantrips we can just kind of cast off their deck, which is great, but we're still just going to play Tarmogoyf and Thoughtseize here. Get ourselves Stomping Ground. Play Thoughtseize first. Their hand is Progenitor Ooze. Interesting. They do have a Lotus Field. They have 2 Twiddles, a Tome Scour, and a Wish. Interesting. So that's why they kept their 1-lander, because they actually had a 2-lander, but they need one more land for it. So we're definitely not playing Lotus Alpine Moon, so that would make their Hex thing work. Twiddles are a dime a dozen. Wish is a little scary. We could just take Twiddles, honestly, and just try and get them on that angle. So obviously Wish and Ooze aren't doing anything. So yeah, we'll do that. So cut the Twiddle. We'll play Tarmogoyf. We've got 5 power in play. They only have 1 land in play, and we're looking pretty good here. No land again. Yeah, so this is a pretty uneventful match here. Our opponent's hand has just not been particularly cooperative, and they seem pretty dead. There are no instants in the graveyard. Obviously, if they draw a land, they can explosives us, but I think we're still going to play Channeler and bolt them here for some extra damage. This puts an instant in the graveyard. It could put something else in the graveyard too, so bolt them. The bolt grows Tarmogoyf. The Kolaghan's command. It's funny because, like, if they don't draw a land, we can shatter the explosives, but if we do draw a land, it's actually awful, so we'll just bin it. Bin that. Bolt them. Get in for... Oh, I'm sorry. Total isn't instant. My bad. I thought this was a sorcery for some reason. So I didn't actually go Tarmogoyf there. So, whatever. It's fine. Okay. So Ragavan gets in. And we'll hit a Serum Visions. You can cast that. 1 blue, cast Visions. Surveil again. Catacombs to the graveyard. Scry, draw cards, scry 2. We draw a land, which is pretty cool. And interesting. We're gonna bottom Channeler. And then Bauble would be the 4th card type. So we're gonna top that. Play Bloodstained Mire. And we're just gonna say go. Of course, they have the explosives in place. So I don't play more 1-drops. Have they drawn the land? They have not. All right, it's a pretty uneventful first match there. Opponent kept a risky hand. They had a lot of pieces, but not all of them. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Round number 2. Win and die rolls. Choosing Lurrus as our companion. And drawing Ragavan. Yep. Monkey time. Turn Ragavan on the play. And also, we also have turn 2 Channeler, Thoughtseize, Bauble, which is great. So, again, Ragavan, I'm not thrilled about the card Ragavan existing because it is an extremely polarizing card. It's funny because I think that Dragon Rage Channeler is a better Magic card on every turn of the game but turn 1. But I think that because Ragavan is just so good turn 1 on the play, it's just extremely polarizing. And I think a bad design in that regard. All right, so we draw a removal spell here. We cannot. So we got a little bit of a Ragavan stare down here. We get to play Dragon Rage Channeler. We get to play Cliffs. We're going to look at their top card. All right, we'll bin that. We're looking for a kill spell for the Ragavan, so bin that. We're going to look at their top card. It is a Wild Nacatl, some sort of zoo deck. What year is it? Wild Nacatl, wow. Grandpa. All right, and then we're going to Thoughtseize them. Tarmogoyf. Right now we have sorcery, artifact. We don't have land. I think we're gonna bin this Tarmogoyf. We can't cast it yet anyway. I don't want to try and get this channel into 3/3, so we'll bin this. Resolve Thoughtseize. We'll see a hand that contains another Ragavan and a Wild Nacatl. Oh my god, their hand's terrible. Some sort of domain zoo deck. They're drawing Nacatl for the turn. And then we're gonna play another Bauble. Surveil again. This time Wrenn and Six. It's going to go in the graveyard also. I have no green. So now we have a Channeler for 3. This card's just like this card's just so freaking good, you know, like. And then I guess we're going to let them draw for turn. And we'll look at their top card after they draw. So we know they have a Nacatl on their end. Well, I guess they can actually just fetch. So we'll just wait for their end step. Draw off of our Bauble. It's a Tarmogoyf. They've drawn Nacatl for turn. This card was banned in Modern for a while, folks. Just saying. Temple Garden tapped. Wild Nacatl. And let's take another look. Their next top card is a Might of Alara. This is a gangster old school deck. Of course, this was Gaia's Might back in the day, but Gaia's Might Get There was a domain zoo deck a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. All right, it's untap. Draw for Bauble. We need a green source here. Kolaghan's Command, Dragon Rage Channeler. That's not the worst. I mean, obviously our Channeler has to attack. We don't really want to kill Ragavan because they have another one. They also have Might of Alara if we got them on tap. I guess we can like Kolaghan's Command later on and then get back our Ragavan. So we'll just play land. Attack with Channeler. Because we have to. And just say go. A little color screw, but you know, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's very good when your one drop is both a enabler and a payoff, you know? Move to combat. Swing both. So pretty easy here. We just block the monkey. Block the monkey. I really doubt they really shouldn't use their Might of Alara here. They won't. So just trade. Take 3 off the Nacatl. They can play a new monkey. Sure. Now we can Kolaghan's Command. Essentially just to you get rid of the Might of Alara and then get back our Ragavan also. We're gonna do that. We got to use this mana, so this is very similar to just making him discard a card, but it's a spell. So just return a creature and deal 2. Return Ragavan, deal 2 to Ragavan. Surveil, looking for a green source. They're gonna Might of Alara response. Yep. So there goes the Might. It's now 5/4. Top card's Copperline Gorge. I mean, we can't keep that. We're going to shut bottom that. I don't think a slow... I was at the bottom it. Or whatever, graveyard it. We can do better than that. We can do better than that. Get back Ragavan. Mishra's Bauble. All right, cool. So play Channeler. Play Bauble. Trigger twice. Top card is Lightning Bolt. Which is pretty good. It is not a green source, but it is pretty good. I guess we can't not keep that one. We can also just draw it on their turn, but... Alright, top that. Bauble. Attack for 3. Dragon Rage Channel makes Wild Nikado look like Eager Cadet. Like, play monkey. So they go. End step, crack their Heath. Get some sort of a, sure, Triome, whatever. So they have 3 cards in hand. They have a Foothills, a Pool. They're drawing to their 4th card in hand. Oh, never mind. They have 3. So they have Wooded Foothills, a Breeding Pool, and the card they just drew for turn. Here comes the Wild Nikado. This is fine. We're not going to try and issue a block here. Currently winning the race. We also have Bolt for Ragavan, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, this is fine. Take 3. You need to be aware of the card Tribal Flames, which deals X damage to the number of land types you have. Territorial Kavu. That is a big honkin' chunker. All right, end step. We'll look for top card. It's a Lightning Bolt. Okay, so we know that they don't. They'll probably fetch end step anyway. So draw bolts, draw a green source. Pretty good. Our Glyph's now a 6/7. That is just monstrous. All right, so we're going to play. Can attack with our channelers. Put them to dead next turn. I imagine they're going to crack this fetch. I mean, so this bolt's probably going away. Pay green. Play Goyf. Then wrist axe, you can discard a card. So they're going to fetch. So there goes the lightning bolt. Get steam vents. Is it untapped? No. So they go to 4. So they are extremely close to dead. Whenever this acts, they can discard a card, maybe draw a card, or they can exile a card from the graveyard. Pretty good card. Pretty good card. Combat. Imagine they just got a party here, right? I can't see how they can't attack. They're just dead in the air to bolt these creatures, so. In comes Wild Nikado. In comes everything. Okay. So we're going to block Tarmogoyf on Kavu and Monkey on Monkey. And we have Bolt to defend ourselves against a Might of Alara. If they have double Tribal Flames, I guess we're dead, but we can't stop that anyway. So discard Breeding Pool. Don't want to risk them hitting a good card off the top of our deck too. So we'll just take the 1 more point of damage. And we're not going to bolt this preemptively because if they have Might of Alara, we get blown out. So just going to pass priority and see what they do. No need to act here. We're currently winning the game. Important thing about Magic is if you're winning the game, you don't need to act. Because a lot of times if you act, you'll give your opponent the opportunity to turn your winning position into a losing position by blowing you out. So right now, if we were trying to bolt this Nikado, they would have Might of Alara that could blow us out. But what is this? They're going to cycle Triome in combat. Okay. What did this do? Oh, they discarded the Breeding Pool and drew a card, right? So, at this point, they are hard locked out of the game. Cool. So, kind of a weird game. It felt like it was just a card quality game. Our cards were just much better than theirs, realistically. Not much sideboard here. I mean, our main deck's pretty good. We can board in the explosives, which are reasonable. I would say I wouldn't mind cutting a few Thoughtseizes. They are Tribal Flames decks, so I don't really want to get Tribal Flames out. We have a bunch of great removal spells here. We should be in really good shape. Feels like a really good matchup. We just have more removal than them. And realistically, our creatures are just better than theirs. Channeler is just better than Wild Nikado. Tarmogoyf is just better than Territorial Kavu. And we have Terminates and Unholy Heats to kill stuff too. So choose Lurrus. We have Turn 1 Ragavan, which is not going to be as good on the draw, but we got Terminate also. So Terminated. Gonna keep this. I'd say the Goyf is more important than the Ragavan here, honestly. Because that's the thing, Ragavan on the draw here, against a creature deck is just not super great. They can have their own Ragavan. Nikado, sure. That's why it's just so polarizing, If they had a Ragavan here, it's just like, all right, I guess, it's such a polarizing card play draw. Just a pretty obnoxious design. It's pretty fun. It is a fun card, but it's just like the numbers are just too big on the card. It's just too good on rate. All right, so we're going to play, we could play Inquisition here. But now we have Bolt to get the Ragavan through, so let's cast Ragavan, make him answer it. Force some trades, get Goyf big, kind of go from there. Wild Nakatl. Sacred Foundry. Now it's a 3/3. They're going to Prismatic Ending my Ragavan, which is fine because, like, you know, the floor of Ragavan is, you know, as in the floor. That's the, you know, if your trade's 1/1 for a kill spell, great. The floor is when it gets, you know, brick walled by multiple creatures. But all right, so they have Ragavan, it's fine. We got Channeler. I think I want to cast this discard spell now. There's just going to be discard spell, Bolt their Ragavan. I like to play Channeler first, but I think there's pressure on us to just kind of deal with their stuff 1-for-1. They have a Scion of Draco, which costs 2 less for each land type. They only currently have 3 land types. So a fetch land means they can cast us off a Triumph or 2, but they also have a Helix and a Might of Alara. I mean, we're going to make this Might of Alara not very good, I think. So we're just going to take the Helix. We're going to fetch Shock here. Let's get a green. Get Stomping Ground. Shock it in. Bolt the Ragavan before they can use their Might of Alara. And then we're looking pretty good, I think. Next turn, we can channel or terminate, or we can play Tarmogoyf. One of the core things about Scion of Draco is you can't really Fatal Push or like that. So they draw a Savvy Triome, but no island. So still unable to cast the Scion of Draco. Wooded Foothills. So we are at 11. So, you know, death is a concern. This gives a green creature will get trample. We could play Goyf with the intent to block this and just like trade Goyf with Might of Alara. Channeler, we have instant land sorcery. It's not a 3/3 yet. And no way to make it a 3/3. Yeah, I think it's just Tarmogoyf tap land. We'll just trade Tarmogoyf for Might of Alara. Then we untap into Channeler plus Terminate. We also have Lurrus too, so like we don't mind just trading off all of our resources and playing a Lurrus later. So we'll block here. I'd rather block than take a bunch of damage. I'm not gonna let them draw Tribal Flames. They can just, you know, we're just trading Tarmogoyf for Might of Alara and 3 life, which is fine. You know, so there's your Might. That's fine. 2 cards left. They have Scion and another card. We still have 3 cards and a Lurrus, and we're drawing for turn. So look, it's another Goyf. So play Foothills here. Now I might just play Channeler and Tarmogoyf. Yeah. We should have 2 good blockers. Don't really have a need to cast Terminate yet. And then we'll fetch a dual end step. We have Lurrus teed up. If we draw a land, we can Lurrus plus Terminate. Draw a 1-mana spell, we can Lurrus plus 1-mana spell. If we draw a spell, great. You know, like, so they have the ability to cast their Scion now, but like we just have Terminate to kill it anyway. It does dodge Fatal Push in Friends, that we just have Terminate, so it's fine. They're going to get Breeding Pool untapped. They have 2 Scions of Draco. Have to assume they have some other 2-drop here. They have 2 Scions, things could get a little messy, I guess, but no Jund Triumph for me, sadly. Tribal Flames, the Goyf. All right. Sure. So we're about to trade down to nothing, and we have Lurrus, and they don't, and we're drawing a card first. So we're going to block. Go to 10. And untap and draw a spell or land, and we're happy. Channeler's great. Play Channeler. I'm going to kill this now in case they have some sort of like protection spell. I highly doubt they do, but Let's just not get cheesed out by something because we're so far ahead. So Terminate, Surveil. Top card is a land. Put that in the bin. And there you go. So now we are ahead on board. They're going to draw a card, but we have a creature in play. We also have Lurrus off to the side too. So we are definitely pretty far ahead here. If we draw spell, if they draw spell, we draw land. We can definitely lose this game, but Territorial, that's a good draw. That is a good draw. That is a very, very good draw. Probably one of the best draws in their deck. So we draw land. All right. I mean, not ideal, but sure. But Lurrus in hand. Attack with Channelers. We have to. Obviously, if they just draw Tribal Flames here, we're dead. But or Might of Alara. But I mean, like I said, but one of the things about Jund is that you do often put yourself in spots like this where you trade resources the whole game. You're up a piece and you say go, but if they draw spell, and you draw land, you lose. In this case, we were up 2 pieces. But I mean, if they, you can't. Junds always struggle at the top of their opponent's decks, whether it's Thoughtseizes or just like trading off into a top deck war. They're gonna exile my sorcery and shrink my channeler. Sure. Go to 5. But now I can just cast Goyf. I draw another Goyf. Sure. Alright, so attack with Channeler for 1. Because they ain't blocking. We need to win the game pretty fast here, because if they draw Tribal Flames, we're dead. So, and they have 2 loots every turn in theory. Play that, play Goyf. So great value. Got a 5/6. We have instant creature, land creature, and so we have plenty of our tower graveyard is multiple creatures, lands, and instants, so no way to shrink this Tarmogoyf. They're gonna end step bolt my Lurrus. Sure, still 2 for 1. Still 2 for 1. So once again, we're ahead multiple pieces here. If they were to draw like Prismatic Ending and kill us, then I guess so be it. Like that's just playing Jund. That's just the Jund life. All right, we're blocking. They're gonna exile their own Draco. Oh, actually, that's pretty cool. I missed that. It's the only one artifact in the bin. So they're able to shrink the Goyf. All right. So I screwed up. I should not have attacked with this. That was a huge mistake. We have blundered one of our pieces away. Let's see if we can draw here. So big mistake on my part. That's okay though. We'll make it work. We're gonna cast Wrenn and Six. And Surveil a Lightning Bolt to the graveyard. And what's this Wrenn and Six gonna do? I don't really want to get back fetch lands. Doesn't really do anything for us. Might just start shooting them, honestly. I mean, we have a 4/5 Goyf here. If I shoot them once, they go to 6, then 5, and then some cards kill them with Goyf next turn. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So we're gonna minus here. And just say go. So yeah, big mistake last turn. Attacking for 1 with Channeler. If I just left it back, we would have been in much better shape. I would have chump blocked the Kabu, had another Tarmogoyf. That was a mistake. That was me just kind of forgetting they only have 1 artifact and they can exile. I didn't realize they could exile their own graveyard. It was only my graveyard, so. All right, so Scion of Dracos here. So pretty good refs from our opponent. Now it has First Strike and Trample, which is terrible for us. So top of our opponent's deck being very kind to them. Discard a land. All right. And now we are probably dead. So we have to block with this. First Strike's down. And then I don't really see a way out anymore. More stuff. Rest in peace. Okay. Yeah, I think we're out of outs now. I guess we get our Kolaghan's command. That wouldn't really do it either. Channeler. All right. Yeah, I mean, they got us. They got us. And definitely we're ahead. Definitely we're ahead, but what are you going to do? And now with Rest in Peace coming in, it does change things a little bit. We can still just kill it with our explosives, though. I think I kind of want to Thoughtseize in, though. Unholy Heat. Alpine Moon. Yeah, I'm bringing a second Thoughtseize. I'm going to shave, like, maybe a Kroxa. Shave a card that's, like, particularly bad against Rest in Peace. Obviously, you know, there are other cards that are good, you know, Rest in Peace wise that are good against us, but on the play, I think we're at the Thoughtseize. So we'll try this. Try this. On the play, choose Lurrus. And hand is not great, but certainly fine. Put him all against the 6. I think we're just going to swamp Thoughtseize. Set up for turn 2 Tarmogoyf. Opponent's on 6 cards. Swamp you. Inquisition you. Their hand is Ragavan, Rest in Peace, Tribal Flames, Scion. So pretty easy Rest in Peace here, I think. We can bolt the Ragavan. Flames don't do much. They can get a Triome, obviously, and possibly cast a Scion, do Tribal Flames for 4, but I think that's fine. Can't imagine they have more than like 2 Rest in Peace, so get Steam Vents, cast Ragavan. Putting the enchantment in the yard for a Rest in Peace is also sweet too. So we draw a pain-free land, sure. So let's bolt Ragavan here. Playing Tarmogoyf to block just dies Tribal Flames. Yeah, pretty simple. Just don't get hit by the Ragavan. Definitely don't want to draw any more lands, that's for sure. You know, we kept a somewhat land-heavy hand, but our hand was reasonable otherwise. We do have Lurrus, so definitely can fire in the Lurrus at some point. Get some value off of that. Play Temple Garden tapped. Okay. Goes to 5/6 now. Big enough to survive the Tribal Flames. So big honky boy. We got land, sorcery, instant, creature, enchantment. And we got Lurrus next turn. And realistically, like, this is a pretty freaking big Goyf. Tribal Flames, not big enough. Not big enough. Fire is the universal language. Monkey. That's annoying, actually, because I don't really feel comfortable attacking anymore. Mishra's Bauble. Well, that makes Goyf even bigger. Let's Bauble here. And then we're going to look at their top card. Their top card is a Territorial Kavu. It's a pretty good draw. Pretty good draw. Yeah, we're going to put Lurrus in our hand. Drawing Bauble makes Lurrus a lot better too, which is awesome. So, Blood Crypt taps and just say go. Not gonna get hit by Ragavan here. They're gonna untap and play Kavu, which is fine. And then we get to Lurrus plus Bauble. So we draw here too, I guess. Peterland. That's a lot of lands. That is a lot of lands. Putting Lurrus in hand also makes if they want to attack and trade Ragavan plus Tribal Flames for Goyf, makes that pretty bad too. There's your Kavu. No 4th land type yet. Untap and draw a monkey. Now, if we play Lurrus here, they can obviously just kill it with Tribal Flames next turn. But we'll have gotten, you know, the Lurrus is a free card, and then we get a free card. It's basically it's a 3-for-1, basically. So NL takes their entire turn, so they can't attack either. I think I'm pretty cool with that, honestly. I don't think I mind that at all. So play Lurrus. Play Bauble. Look at their top card again. It's a Ragavan. Okay. Play our own Ragavan. Stomping Ground. Could actually swing here. I guess that would allow them to attack with the Kabu, though. We'll just say go. We've got more cards than them. You know, we're up cards. We have Peatland right now. We're a little flooded, but there you go. Unholy Heat's great. They kind of like have to kill Lurrus this turn. Otherwise, they just get buried under card advantage. So now they've drawn another non-land. They have to spend 2 mana Tribal Flames to Lurrus. Oh, they have Bolt too. Okay, so they have a Bolt. That's fun. So their hand is Tribal Flames, Scion, Ragavan, card. Kabu's going to come in here. So they're repping that they have a pump spell. They can't exile my artifact and shrink my Goyf a little bit. Might actually choose to exile their Rest in Peace instead. No, they're going to loot, actually. Going to loot, discarding Tribal Flames. Interesting. Keeping Scion, Ragavan. We're not going to block here. They have the pump spell. It's pretty bad for us. And we can just take the 4. Have Unholy Heat. Have Peatland. We could even push through the our Ragavan next turn, most likely. So Arid Mesa. That's pretty good. So they can fetch a... No, they could fetch a black there and cast Scion. They choose not to. Interesting. Jeez. All right, so we'll crack this Peatland. Okay. The fear here is if I go to kill the Ragavan and get in, and they have a removal spell for my Ragavan, that's a pretty bad exchange for us. Like, we're just going to chill. Honestly, I mean, they can play Scion next turn, but we can heat it. We have Goyf on defense. We have Heat to blow out a pump spell. It's been a pretty awkward game. Obviously, we have a Peatland draw again next turn, so... Foothills, okay. Savion of being meta screwed. Not really flooded, but they have Scion, Ragavan, and an unknown card. There's Scion. That'll give the Ragavan first strike and the Kabu first strike and trample. Okay. So let's see what they do here. Surprised they pitched the they just pitched this Ragavan. I just didn't notice. Maybe that's the case. They're gonna exile their own Rest in Peace. Okay. The fear is obviously pump spell on Territorial Kabu. But we do blow them out if they have yeah, we're gonna take a Ragavan hit here, I think. Just block here. We could block Ragavan and take 5, but let me go to 8. That's kind of a scary life total, honestly, with the flyer in play. And yeah, the problem is that they fire up first strike damage, and then they have a burn spell to finish off Tarmogoyf. That's pretty gross. Maybe we just block the Goyf on the Ragavan and just like take the 5. And we could always Unholy Heat the Scion, so let's do this. Because if we block the Kavu, they allow first strike to go on. They're gonna Might of Alara the Ragavan. All right, so we blow it out now, so that's pretty great. Play the Heat. Can't stand the Heat here. And we think they have a Ragavan in hand. They might have looted it away, and I just missed it though, because there was a Ragavan in the graveyard. Right to fetch. Get Stomping Ground. Untapped. Go to 8. Looks like they got another Ragavan here. So now we're a little soft with Sign of Draco. We should draw a freaking spell though, basically. Like Kolaghan's command would be great. They had the Ragavan. So they're out of cards. Once again, they're out of cards. We're up on material. The problem is all of our materials lands. So if we could just draw a spell here, we'd be in totally fine shape. I guess technically that is a spell. Does not kill Scion of Draco though. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty embarrassing, honestly. We just like, once again in a spot where we're just up a lot of cards, but, you know, last game we got drawn out on, and in this game we just have 9 lands. And even though we're up 4 cards, we just don't have the means to use them really that well. Explosives here is just super awkward. We have a 2-drop and a 1-drop in play also. We have another Ragavan. We kind of just can't do anything, honestly. And then we're at the mercy of the top of their deck. If they draw a good one, we're just dead, probably. But I think we should say go here. Could Explosives on 1, I suppose. Nothing that really does anything, but this Ragavan's kind of getting in regardless. Yeah, I guess we're on Explosives on 1. And say go. Goyf blocks Kavu. The Kavu can exile the Mishra's Bauble, but then the Explosives can regrow the Goyf, which is fine. So Goyf does block Kavu. Ragavan can just chump block Ragavan, and we can pop the Explosives. They play another 1-drop. We gotta draw a spell, folks. We need to draw a spell here. Moving to combat. Here they come. Kavu will draw and discard. That's a good sign. So if they just brick here, then like our Goyf just eats their Kavu, right? So like the card they just drew at random has to affect this board. Okay, I guess that the Scion just kills next turn anyway, but alright, so block. And I guess we just allow us to resolve. Because we're gonna Explosives post-combat. They play another 1-drop. Alright, so pop Explosives. We can dash Ragavan for another look, but we just draw like a Terminate or a Kolaghan's command here. Is that possible? Nope, just a land. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, nothing else to do but serve. Hope the top card of their deck is good. I'm not even sure what it can be, honestly, because like, what do they have in their deck that can kill Scion? All right, here we go. We hit another land. Yeah, I mean, not the funnest last 2 games there, I'm not going to lie. Both these games, we were pretty far ahead and then just lost anyway. That is part of what you sign up for when you play Jund, though. You know, you play a Thoughtseize deck and you play a resource trading deck where clearly you're set up for better trades. But if your opponent just draws 4 lands and all spells and you draw, 10 lands, like you could still lose the game anyway. So our trades were great that game. They mulliganed. We were up multiple cards, but it just kind of didn't matter. So not a fun one. Not a fun one there. We're going to go to 1-1. All right, round number 3 on the play. Let's rock and roll. Lurrus, I choose you. I think you should automatically choose your companion if you only have one, Just like, is your companion legal in your deck? Yes. Ooh. Kahira the Orphan Guard is here, the really cool Risen Reef Elemental deck. And we have an okay hand. It's not great. We're going to keep. We have Wrenn and Six, Tarmogoyf, Kroxa. Definitely not a great hand, but I think it's fine. Wrenn and Six should be pretty good here, picking off Risen Reef and friends. Get ourselves a Stomping Ground, most likely. Turn 2 Cliffs, Tarmogoyf. Or probably Wrenn and Six, actually. We'll see. Put them all against a 5. Okay. Put them all against a 4. All right. All right. So opponent's on a healthy 4 cards. We say yeah. Shatterskull, Hammer Pass. Okay. Copperline Gorge. All right, yeah, I think we're interested in just playing Tarmogoyf here. Wrenn and Six getting back a land doesn't really help us in any way. And while Goyf is pretty small, you know, realistically, don't really need our 6th land that bad. So, Turn Timber. This is perhaps some sort of like Goblin Charbelcher deck. Be interesting. I might actually just Kroxa here. Make him discard a card. They only have 4 cards in hand. Channeler. Channeler's pretty good too. Channeler's pretty good too. Okay, now we're gonna Channeler Wrenn and Six, I think. Surveil a card. Attack, then get back our land. Channeler's so good. Thoughtseize. I think we want that one. If we're assuming there's some sort of like Belcher deck, then we actually just want to cast Belcher. He has his next turn, so we'll top this. Top this. Wrenn and Six. Attack for 1. And I guess we'll recurve a land. I mean, next turn's Thoughtseize, Kroxa, land. Recross the Paths. So they have no lands in their deck because all of their lands are double phase lands. So they're going to reveal their entire library, and they're going to be able to stack their deck, which is going to be a problem actually because we can't Thoughtseize the top of their deck. We can see either a Charbelcher deck. Oops, where is Goblin Charbelcher with no lands? They also have a Forge the Soul, which might be the card they're going to put on top. Also have a Pact of the Titan. You find a Cursed Idol. That's interesting. It's a mana accelerator. Pretty fun to play Kahira because the only deck that plays Kahira is the Elemental deck, which obviously wants drastically different cards in this deck. You might mulligan to removal against that deck, where against this deck, mulligan to removal is terrible. So they're currently stacking their entire deck because for some reason Clash allows you to do that. I guess they're going to put Reforge the Soul on top, but I'm honestly not exactly sure. Honestly, probably possible to put Reforge on top and then stack your 7 cards to be a bunch of rituals and you win the game like that. So we're probably going to lose next turn, honestly, with no way to stop the top of their deck. So all right, we're going to keep Thoughtseize on top because let's see what else we can do. And again, they're probably going to Reforge Soul or probably going to lose, but all right, so we're going to play Catacombs, crack it, get Swamp, cast Thoughtseize, Surveil 1. We'll put the land in the graveyard. Unfortunately, we couldn't hit anything else there. They have a Ritual, Recross the Paths, and 2 lands. So I don't think we have any recourse here, honestly. Because if they only had 1 land, maybe we could that could be the bottleneck. But they have a 4th land, so they can go Reforge the Soul on their draw step, draw a bunch of rituals, play a land, cast Ritual. So none of these cards in their hand actually... Well, actually, I'm sorry. I guess they're going to Reforge anyway. So this Thoughtseize is probably totally irrelevant, honestly. But we'll take the Ritual. And we will play Kroxa. Make them discard another card. And probably lose the game next turn. So no discard spell early doomed us this game. Even though they mulligan to 4, they kind of just have like a 1-card combo with the Across the Paths where it sets up the win next turn. And we can't Thoughtseize to stop that, so... Also have Indomitable Creativity. It's cute, I guess. They can use that to get Charbelcher. It's interesting. Alright, so they discard a Seagate, whatever, and we can get back a land. Attack for 3. Might be better just to ping them, honestly. Maybe I was wrong. Alright, yeah, there's Reforge the Soul, so I believe we're just dead this turn. If they stack their Reforge properly. Pact of the Titan. Infernal Plunge. Very convoluted deck here. Alright, so Ironcrag Feet and then Charbelcher. So, unsurprisingly, when you stack your deck, it works out pretty well. So, that's fine. Charbelcher will deal to us so much damage. They have no lands in their deck. So, alright, so we get to board in Thoughtseize. We need to board out all of our removal spells. Our Unholy Heats are terrible. Our Terminates are terrible. I think the Bolts are probably still fine. Kolaghan's Command's probably okay as well. Chalice the Void on... Yeah, it doesn't really help us that much. Ancient Grudge. Killing Treasures is kind of cool, honestly. So that's probably fine. And then... That's really it. I mean, unfortunately, we need to bring in like one more card. Chalice on 0 doesn't do anything. Explosive. I guess Explosives on 0 could potentially kill a treasure or two. So I guess we'll just do that. Realistically, you know, our Thoughtseize should be very, very good. We just didn't draw one in our opening hand. We weren't able to Thoughtseize that were across the path before they cast it. Once they cast it, the game basically ends. So we'll be a little more aggressive in our mulligans too. So on the play. Again, we thought we were playing its creature deck, so Kahira got us pretty good there. Alright, Kahira. And that. Alright, it's a much better hand here. Now we have a discard spell. We don't have fetch lands for our Wrenn, but just turn 1 discard, turn 2 Tarmogoyf feels great, so we're going to keep this. Hopefully they don't have Leyline of Sanctity, which would stink, but... Just another piece of the puzzle, if they have it, you know? Don't seem to have it, so... Cliffs ya and discard ya. Their hand is. We're across the paths and then some lands. Let's take across. We need to remove the lands from the thing here. They don't currently have this many cards in their hand, obviously. So Seagate Reborn. Play Turn Timber and say go. They can Balagid Recovery back to across the paths. That is pretty slow. Recovery will return a card. Redraw Channeler, but we're definitely going to play Tarmogoyf first. Then next turn is going to be Channeler Wrenn and Six. Shatter Skull, tapped. So we're going to untap, draw Thoughtseize, love it. So now we're just going to play Channeler and Thoughtseize, which is even better, I think. Hopefully no Veil Summer here, that would suck. We're going to bin this land. They have a Creativity and a Spike Field Hazard. So we'll take the recovery so they can't get back this recross the paths. And we have no instant in the graveyard, right? So we're going to fire up his bolts. Scry some more. Grow up a Tarmogoyf. It's a Peterland. We can bin that one too. And get it for 3. Nothing to currently trigger this creativity, so. Could Spike Field Hazard my Channeler next turn, which would be annoying, but, you know, it's not that bad. Would stay me the clock a bit. You're up. Sea Get Reborn. Untapped. Remember that card we Thoughtseize on turn 1? Oh, they just drew it last turn after we Thoughtseize them again. Okay, I guess. You gotta have the stones to play a Jund deck, you know? You gotta just be able to take it in stride when your opponent draws the perfect card, or just like draw a spell like in last match, you know? They did bring in Veil of Summer, so they have a couple Veils. Let's bring Flame Blitz. Okay, sure. Unfortunately, once again, there's nothing we can do because we can't stop their Force of Soul, so they're going to get us again next turn. Oh, man. Can't Thoughtseize at the top of their deck, I guess. All right, I mean, there isn't even a point in, like, topping this Thoughtseize anymore, honestly. Like, no card in their hand matters. I don't even know what we can do. Draw for turn. Bloodstained Mire. All right, so play Wrenn and Six. Surveil. Put it in the bin. No Delirium. Get back Peterland. Play Peterland. Get in for 3. Oh, man. Hopefully they screwed it up, I guess. Pact of the Titan. Infernal Plunge. Part of the cost, so I can't kill it in response anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's... This should probably be a really good matchup for us, but... Usually the Thoughtseize deck is pretty good against the Belcher deck, but c'est la vie, I suppose. C'est la vie, I suppose. On the play, round 4. Let's see if we can swing things a little bit here. The last two matches have been pretty tough. They've been pretty tough. That's why you play the games, you know. That's why you play the games. All right, Kahira again. Again, Kahira is usually the Elementals deck, so I'm going to keep this hand. We have a Pseudo Scry on turn 1. We have some removal spells. If they are Belcher again, so be it, I suppose. But I have not seen that Belcher deck before. So play Bauble. Target ourselves. And we'll see if it's a card we want or a card we don't want. Say Terminate. I would say we don't want that one. So we're just going to play the Bloodstained Mire. And we're going to fetch tapped Stomping Ground. Could put it in untapped and leave it Unholy Heat, but like that just telegraphs we have it. So shuffle away our card and get a new card. So Bauble, fire up here. Monkey. Monkey see, monkey do. All right, it's time for some vengeance. It's time for some vengeance here. Channeler. All right, so this is a double creature turn. If we didn't draw Channeler, we were probably going to evoke the monkey or whatever, dash the monkey, but Bala Ged Sanctuary. Shatterskull, shock. Go. Interesting. Kroxa. So we could Kolaghan's command here and try and get Delirium with Channeler and get him for more damage. They have a lot of cards in their hand. Just like shock, make them discard. Otherwise, we're probably not doing much. Unlikely to hit a reasonable card off Ragavan. The thing is, we have to hit a sorcery, planeswalker, or creature off our Surveil to actually get Delirium. Spike Field Hazard. How rude. And also, we'll get exiled if this happens too. I think we're going to Unholy Heat it to put the card in the graveyard and then just play Kroxa next turn. We also want to Surveil for a Thoughtseize effect if we can too, so. Kroxa for the bin. All right, sure. That makes things interesting. So that will give Delirium, which is kind of cool. Not a very good hand for the matchup. All right, so we say go. If they ever cross the path here, we're dead. They did mulligan. They did keep 7 this game. Our last opponent mulliganed a few times. So, okay. That's a start. That's a start, I guess. We draw another monkey. I think we're just casting Kroxa here. Like, it's probably the most disruptive play we can make. We could like Kolaghan to Ragavan, but again, Ragavan is not particularly great against them. Yeah, we're just gonna play the Kroxa. We're gonna attack first, though, of course. Get over 3. Gonna exile everything but probably the Bauble. And make them discard a card again. Very possible. I guess they can't Iron Crag Feet next turn. That's kind of cool. This could have came in untapped last turn and didn't. So hopefully it means they don't have her cross the paths. They can't play Iron Crag Feet unless they have other rituals. Another tapped Turn Timber. This opponent seems to be drawing worse than the last one. Bauble. Okay. Start with Bauble. Surveil. Put land in the graveyard. That's 2 types in the graveyard. Let's look at their top card. It's Seagate Restoration. No help there. I guess we're going to end up Ragavanning it, maybe. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have lethal if we can hit a card off a Kolaghan's command. We need to hit a creature, sorcery, planeswalker. So we're going to go here and here. I'm not going to pay red, though. No. Surveil. It is a Mishra's Bauble. So we missed. We missed. They discard a card. I'm sure they have extras, so there shouldn't be a problem. They discarded Reforge the Soul. All right. This opponent is not getting as lucky as their last opponent did. They're getting, I would say, profoundly unlucky. They have nothing going on yet. Discard Pact of a Titan, sure. All right, I mean, here are my cards. Draw off Bauble. Oh, that was dumb. I should not play Ragavan there. If I drew Bolt off the Bauble, I would have been pretty sad. And they like had a way to kill us. So, small mistake. Small mistake. All right, so that game, our opponent did nothing. Not a thing. So, Grudges, Thoughtseize, and Explosives. Cutting the Terminates and the Unholy Heats. Let's have it be more like that game than our last match. All right. Great hand. Double discard, double Tarmogoyf. This is actually a classic Jund. This is a Boomer Jund hand. All of his cards were in Boomer Jund. To keep this, put him mulligan 6. Just Boomer Junding it up here. I guess we do have Lurrus, I guess. We do have Lurrus. Turn Timber untapped. No, it's tapped. Okay, so no fear of Veil of Summer. So come on down. Our life total essentially irrelevant. Inquisition of Kozilek. Their hand is Blood Moon. Their hand's pretty good. Recross the Paths, Blood Moon, Charbelcher. So I can fetch Forest Swamp next turn. I'll be totally fine against Blood Moon. Take Recross here. If they draw a Ritual and Blood Moon us, I suppose things get a little ugly, but Shatter Skull. Strike it rich. Make a treasure, sure. Oh, hello. Okay. Yeah, I mean, triple Thoughtseize seems pretty good, right? We know their entire hand. Take Blood Moon, take Charbelcher. And leave them with a single Manamorphose. This is more like it. This is more like it. K command. No basic forest? Huh. Interesting. Okay. Sure. Goyf and bolt them. Should make the Goyf a 5-power creature. You're going to cash in their Manamorphose. Cash in Manamorphose. Flashback, strike it rich. Okay. And play a land. They have one card left. I believe we're going to Kolaghan's command them and discard their last card. See what we draw. We got a 5/6 Goyf here. Shocking them doesn't change the clock. So we're just going to shatter a treasure and then make them discard their card. It's a ritual. That's fine. So they would have had a lot of mana, but didn't do it. And so there you go. Most of our deck is blanks. So Ancient Grudge, cool. I guess, yeah, that's cool. Didn't put Kahira in their hand. Interesting. Okay, number 5. And we're going to play the Goyf. We'll say go. We're going to upkeep, destroy their treasure. And kill me, I guess. Can't cast Iron Crag Feet. struggled to find 2-card combinations that win the game for them here, so. Don't think that's going to do it, friends. All right, so we got a little vindication here. This is how I expect the matchup to go. Just cast a few Thoughtseize a few times and win the game easily. But, it doesn't always go like you want it to. No fog? All right, no fog. All right, match 5. Let's go. All right, on the draw. Match number 5. Lurrus, I choose you. And opponent's also playing Lurrus. All right, that's pretty good, though. It's a little land heavy. We have 2 interaction points and a Wrenn and Six, so I'm okay with this. Not ideal by any means, but Mishra's Bauble. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? And they're going to target themselves. A little Pseudo Scry, a little Polluted Delta. Going to crack it. They're going to get a basic island and play another Bauble. And then Bauble targeting me. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Basic island. It's a lot of cliffs. It's a lot of cliffs. All right. Inquisition, yeah. What's going on over there? We get milled? Thoughtscour targeting me. Milling Wrenn and Six and the 4th copy of Blackcleave Cliffs. Typically, you don't want the 4th copy of Blackcleave Cliffs. That one's usually not that good. All right, and they have Counterspell, Snapcaster Mage, Blood Chief's Thirst, Thoughtscour. So they can kill our Wrenn and Six. Kind of annoying. Their hand's actually like pretty good against us, honestly. Obviously, if I take the Thirst, they can counterspell the Wrenn. If I get to play the Wrenn and just get a land off of it, that's pretty cool. Though I am very flooded, but I think it's still just counterspell. So Snapcaster Mage is not ideal either, but the 4th Blackcleave Cliffs. Scalding Tarn. All right. All right. Guess we'll get Stomping Ground. I don't get a Forest, honestly, but this is mostly a Rakdos deck just splashing for Tarmogoyf anyways, so makes sense. All right, so we'll get Overgrown Tomb. Green or red. Thoughtscour targeting me again. It's kind of weird, honestly. The first one turns on Jamalok. I'm not sure what the second one does, you know? They have Snapcaster in their hand, too. Kind of weird. We'll get our Catacombs back, and a little flooded. We are a little bit flooded. Not going to lie, but kill my Wrenn and Six with Blood Chief's Thirst. And so go. That's a spell. Cast the old. I guess I can just Snapcaster the Blood Chief's Thirst if we play Tarmogoyf. But it's kind of like, what else are we doing kind of thing. They have Watergrave Snap card. I would like to do that on a turn where we have like a follow-up play, which we don't have. So I'm just put Lurrus in my hand. So go. Settle in for the long haul here. We have plenty of land drops to make, so. Grave number 2, Shocks. Now they have Snap plus Counterspell, but again, we're not really in a huge rush here, so. Channeler's pretty good as far as allowing for a double spell. Probably just start there and see what they do, honestly. They snap Counterspell, so we can resolve whatever we want. That's cool. And then let's play land tap and say go. No reason to play anything else in the Counterspell. Yeah, just chill. Chilling like a villain. End step. You want to snap Thought Scour, go nuts, you know? Nope. So wasted turn of mana, good for us. Dark Slick Shores, sure. All right. So now you have a threat in play, which is great. Draw Terminate. That's not that great, but start by attacking. Are they going to steal my creature? How rude. Okay. That's fine, honestly. I'm much happier with this than them drawing 2 cards. That just turns on my removal spells. And while it is a 2-for-1 for them, they're not drawing cards, and I'm cashing in my cards that were basically blank anyway. So that's pretty sweet, honestly. And now I can resolve... I can't resolve Lurrus plus Wrenn and Six. We can resolve the Goyf here, though, so... And then we're gonna Unholy... We're gonna Terminate over Unholy Heat. Because they could have a Planeswalker in their deck. Actually, I guess they can't because they have Lurrus. But Heat's just cheaper and more efficient, so... Terminate. Terminated. Tarmogoyf. And, play lands they go. We got a Honky Chonky Tarmogoyf. They can Snapcaster Bloodchief's Thirst It, but that requires them to tap lands in their main phase, which is fine. And we just have Lurrus into Goyf again, possibly. We'll see what we draw and what they draw and stuff. Drawing a discard spell next turn would be phenomenal. Again, I'd much rather this than them Snapcaster Charm and draw 2 cards, so... All right, this is a big turn. I would love to draw a discard spell here. Would love it. That is not a discard spell. So I think we're just going to chill. If they have an actual counter spell here and they counter spell Lurrus, we're in big trouble. So I'm just going to say play lands they go. And we'll heat the Snapcaster and just look for a better spot to cast Lurrus. I misclicked this. Should have fetched a land, but whatever. Monkey. Monkey see, monkey do. They're currently missing land drops. We're going to play lands they go here. Means they have 4 spells in their hand. Not going to rush to do anything else. They're going to tap 4 and play into the story. All right, well, that probably ends the game. All right, sure. I believe the game is over now, unfortunately. That explains why the second Thought Scour targeted us. Thing in the ice. Okay. We're going to fire up the heat here. I mean, we're so behind on cards now. I don't really see a possible path to victory, honestly. They know we have Lurrus too. All right, let's fire on a dash, see what they do. Force them to react in some way. 6 cards is just so many cards. Fatal Push. All right, play Channeler. And they know we have this Lurrus. It's not like we're like keeping it from anybody, you know? So they go. The ideal sequence is we draw a discard spell and we're able to force through Lurrus and cast Tarmogoyf also. But again, we're just so behind on cards, I don't think it matters. We're going to steal it again? I guess they think their hand's so good now it doesn't matter, but I still think I'm more scared of them just drawing 2 cards. I don't know. This deck seems really good. Chief seems really, really good in these grindy kind of matchups. I feel like we're like strategically pretty far behind here. All right, Lurrus to hand. Discard spell? No. Obviously, we flooded kind of bad this game too, but it does feel like strategically we're just like miles behind them. Lurrus in literally everything. Control decks, aggro decks, burn decks, combo decks, you name it. That was a shellacking. We got rocked pretty hard that game, I'm not going to lie. And we don't have much to bring in either. No Veil of Summers on the board. We don't got much of anything here, honestly. We're going to want to bring in, maybe leave in, honestly, I think our bolts are our worst removal spell. Because Unholy Heat and Terminate will kill Thing in the Ice and Lurrus and Snapcaster and whenever they steal. I guess Soul Guide Lantern only exiles our opponent's graveyard, so not ours, so it can't stop End of a Story. Ouchie wowie. Wowzers. Wowzers indeed. Alright, we're going to cut an Unholy Heat. And maybe we just want some lanterns for a bit of value, and it is better than like Terminate or something like that. Gotta kill Thing in the Ice though. Alright, let's try this. Alright, Lurrus, I choose you. I like their deck a lot. Triple Bauble. Our hand could be anything. Could even be a boat. All right, we're going to keep. All right. First Bauble. We'll look at our card and decide if we're going to fetch or play a fast land. Our top card is a Thoughtseize. That sounds great. We'll keep that one. So then we'll play a Ragavan. Let's look at their top card first. Doubt they're playing Thoughtseize because discard spells don't play well with counter spells. So I'm not like worried about them getting my hand really. Thought Scour. That's pretty funny. They could Thought Scour us to get rid of our card. Actually, they can't. So we'll draw before they play land. So play Monkey, play Bauble, and I guess just they go. We'll Bauble them on their turn after they draw their Thought Scour. River of Tears. You're going to push me here, I guess? Sure. Their next top card is Snapcaster Mage. Snappy does seem good in these kind of matchups. What's going on here? In the button. Dead Monkey. They have Snap for push. This deck seems great. This deck seems really good. Alright, so we can get I guess we can play Tarmogoyf this turn and then Thoughtseize their Snap and Tarmogoyf next turn, so we got a shock because we have no basic forest. Play the Tarmogizzle. River of freaking Tears. Delta. Channeler. Channeler's pretty tight, actually. So now I can go Channeler Thoughtseize instead of Goyf Thoughtseize. They're going to fetch in response. Note this will not turn Tears to black because it is whenever you've played a land. It's not playing a land, that's getting a land. Blue, blue. They got Counterspell to Channeler? Wow. That is an extremely odd play. We'll Thoughtseize them. Their hand is Counterspell, Snapcaster, Scour, Scour. It's a pretty easy Snapcaster here. Now their hand is... yeah, these three cards. Thought Scour, Counterspell, Island. Play land. Get it for 5. And now they have no answer to Tarmogoyf. And we can put Lurrus in our hand if we have to do nothing next turn. And then otherwise we can just, you know, play Goyf and stuff as your island. Get a Overgrown Tomb. Untap and draw Kroxa. That's not a bad draw, actually. Not a bad draw at all. All right, start there, I guess. Okay, this doesn't make any actual sense at all. Because they could just discard the counterspell to the Kroxa. So I don't understand this play at all. That doesn't make any sense. But sure. The Kroxa didn't actually do anything there. It just literally just discarded a card. So I don't get it. That's fine by me. I'm willing to put it all in play. And then next turn we have actual Kroxa ready to roll. I guess having Kroxa in your deck is a good reason not to play a Forest, but you got Spell Stare me and a Thought Scour themselves. Hit Snapcast. No, Thought Scour me. Thought Scour me with a Kroxa in my graveyard. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it plays off for him. Bauble, sure. Freaking Counterspell in Modern. Never thought you'd see the day, you know? So they didn't draw land. They're going to Thought Scour and Force and 3 spells. First things first, we're stagging. We have lethal, so let's make them do something. They've already cast 2 counter spells, so they like push here. We might just want a Kroxa. We can also Ragavan and put Lurrus in our hand too, which is also pretty good. Since now we have 2 lethal threats. I think I like that better actually. Thought Scour, targeting me again. Okay. I mean, do your worst, I suppose. A lot of pressure on you. A lot of pressure on you when you're playing these control decks to really pick all your spots correctly. I think our opponent made a few missteps this game, and we capitalized. So, game 3, let's go. Soul Guide Lantern. I don't think so. I don't think so. This is fine. Indeed. Lurrus, I choose you. Hand's not great, honestly. I mean, double discard on the draw is pretty awesome, but unfortunately our Terminate and Unholy Heat are pretty bad. If we can just draw 1 threat, though, we can probably stick it, and if they kill it, we can get it back with Kolaghan's command. I'm going to keep this hand. I think being on the draw with double discard is pretty nice, because they're down a card already, and then we draw any threat, we can Kolaghan's command it back, too. So even though we're like I would happily keep this hand minus Terminate, you know? So why not just have 7 cards in our hand? It's more of a matchup about card quantity than card quality, so they Bauble targeting themselves. They don't like the cards. They're going to fetch it away. Monkey. Monkey. I think we're going to discard spell first. We play Monkey here, but just push it. It feels pretty bad, so. All right, so they're playing the card Dress Down. This is like a combo with the Thing in the Ice, where you can like remove the counters from it basically by playing this first. So yeah, pretty easy spot here. I think we're just take Drama Lock. Even though we don't have any spells in our graveyard yet, we will soon. This is basically just a split card, split Terminate counter spell. So take Drama Lock. Next turn, Inquisition the counter spell, and go from there. And then play Ragavan. So we have multiple removal spells to kill their Thing in the Ice. They don't really care about Dress Down that much. So they get Watery Grave, sure. Island, yep. Gonna say go. All right. Terminate's not what we're looking for. We only have 4 kill spells, and I can draw 3 of them now, which is not very good, but Inquisition here. It's going to resolve. They've drawn a second counterspell? Oh, come on. All right, whatever. We'll use Ragavan to get their counterspell. We're going to want a red black land here. They're going to let it resolve. Interesting. I guess they can like end step dress down, play Thing in the Ice with no counters on it, and then flip it immediately. But we just kill it, so it's really like whatever. It's kind of not that big of a deal. All right. They have to play a spell though, because the transform trigger is based off of the playing into their sorcery. And they're not gonna land. So if they had a land for Thoughtscour here, they're in great shape, but now they're just gonna like lose. So cool. Yeah. Terminate you. Terminated. Here comes the monkey. We hit our own Thing in the Ice. Yeah, I'll cast Thing in the Ice, sure. Got 3 spells in my hand, you know? They have Counterspell, Thoughtscour, and more spells, and no lands, obviously, as of yet. They obviously just drew this, they don't have a land in their hand. So they're not making a land drop this turn, which is great for us. Don't appear to have an answer to Ragavan yet either, which is also great, obviously. Monkey? Monkey. Thoughtscour. So we're going to Thoughtscour ourselves, I guess. Yeah, we have good graveyard cards. Oh, you need a blue, right? It's not whatever it's called. Hold on, untap. They can get like Deepest Sanity and Friends. All right, Thing in the Ice counter, gone. Mill 2, hit a Kroxa maybe? Hit Ragavan and Thoughtseize. So we draw Wrenn and Six, but obviously they have a counterspell in their hands. We're not casting anything, so pretty sure we're just going to put Lurrus in our hand. And then do I want to play Unholy Heat untapped? I don't think so. All right, I mean, we're currently equal on cards, ahead on board, ahead on lands, so end step, dress down. Oh, okay. I feel like the dress down part of his deck's a little too cute, personally. Their own Thing in the Ice, adorable. Although they'll flip it, and it won't bounce my Thing in the Ice, because that's how Thing in the Ice works. So they can use Scour to flip the Thing in the Ice. But now we can just like terminate Wrenn and Six. Or terminate, always terminate Wrenn and Six. So we terminate, they Thoughtscour response, they flip it and bounce our Ragavan, but then it still dies. We can actually just dash the Ragavan if we want to. Terminated. Thoughtscour targeting me again. Flip. Mill 2. Hit a Kroxa. Kill that. And I'm just going to dash. Survey says it's a land. So then you go land here. We're going to play Wrenn and Six also. We're starting to really pull away here. I've got Kroxa in the graveyard, ample food, Planeswalker in play, big mana advantage. Play Watery Grave. Okay. Save a Thirst to kill my Wrenn and Six. It's totally fun. Just trade a 2 for 1. It's great. I believe we're going to attempt to dash. If they counterspell it, we can just play Lurrus and play a new Ragavan. Definitely want to play multiple spells here, so. Resolves. Okay, sure. Coming in. Could have Snapcaster here, I guess. Snapcaster. Nope, no push. Never mind. Could have snapped a block, I guess, too. We have Unholy Heat, though, so it's not going to work. Drama Lock? Sure. Post-combat, we're just going to play Lurrus and cast our Ragavan again. Then we have Kolaghan's Command, return a Lurrus also. Just grinding, folks. We're just grinding away here. Blue, blue, blue. Put Lurrus in hand, sure. Lurrus in hand, counterspell up, but of course we just have like a Lurrus and Ragavan in play. So start by attacking. See what they do. Lurrus is a nightmare, not a horror, so we'll get bounced. I don't think we're casting that one. Just gonna throw that out there. Just don't think we're casting that one. We're gonna cast Wrenn and Six in the bin. Start there. They're just gonna concede. Sure. So yeah, that game they were obviously all stuck on lands. But I think the game 2 they're gonna play a little tighter. So went 3-2, losing to Belcher and a Zoo deck. And I mean his deck feels super solid. I think his sideboard needs some work. I think these Ancient Grudges and Soul Guide Lanterns feel a little off. I wanted a little more, just like, usually with a deck like this, I want to have a variety pack in my sideboard. I want to have like one of this, one of that, a lot of like hedgy cards. So against, an Affinity deck, you're bringing in like one Grudge, one Unravel the Aether, one something, I don't know, and then, or one Explosives, and you're bringing in, against Tron, you bring in like an Alpine Moon, and like, just to have a variety pack where certain cards are good in certain matchups, you can kind of swap things around. When you're so 3-3-3, you end up playing against matchups where the cards just like don't line up right, and I have these extra Unholy Heats I want to get rid of, and so on and so forth. So, that's one complaint. Otherwise, the deck's super solid. If you like Jund decks, I mean, this is probably the face of Jund right now. So, sell those Lilianas and sell those Bloodbraid Elves and take a third mortgage on your house. You can buy 4 Ragavans and let it rip, So that's the deck. Again, this deck was built by Aspiring Spike, who's super awesome. Aspiring Spike's freaking great. And I definitely steal his decks from time to time because they're really, really cool. And yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I'm Jim Davis for CoolStuffInc.com. Check out the CoolStuffInc.com website for a companion article to this video. As always, I do a written article every Friday, a video article every Monday. Check those out. And check out free content every weekday on CoolStuffInc.com from all your favorite content creators. No paywall. Easy game. And of course, use promo code Jim5, 5% off your order on CoolStuffInc.com. I love you all. I'll see y'all next week. Thanks for watching.